Hello, and welcome to the weekly broadcast of Strategic Speaking for Results. I'm Elizabeth Bachman, your host. Today, I'm talking about the word diversity. In recent conversations, I've heard many companies who are reacting to political pressure to eliminate the word diversity, if not an entire diversity, equity, and inclusion department. The thing is, when words are repressed, then the ideas associated with them are repressed as well, and it gets easier to ignore an uncomfortable issue. I try to stay away from politics on my platform, but I have to stand up for what I believe. I'm recording this in June of 2023, which is Pride Month, and I am a gay woman, so it matters to me. I fit a minority category. Hopefully, if you're listening to this later, this is no longer going to be an issue, but I don't think so. I've spoken a lot on this platform about the importance of intentional diversity. Yes, it may take a little extra effort to reach out to someone who doesn't look like you or to hire someone who doesn't look like you, but the more you can surround yourself with new ideas and different points of view, the richer and more informed you become as a person. I've discovered that during this podcast, making an effort to reach out to guests who don't look like me. And in an organization, statistics have shown over and over and over again that having diverse voices in leadership opinions and listening to them increases the profits. When you eliminate the word diversity and just focus on inclusion, it dilutes that effort. Now, you may be able to start with inclusion or start thinking about inclusion, but then you've got to still keep the diversity. And let's not forget equity. In a recent podcast interview, Elena Kupek said, "My personal perspective is inclusion applies to everyone. We should all be inclusive. But when I hear inclusion as a woman who happens to be transgender, it strikes me to the equivalent of all lives matter." And for those of you who don't know about All Lives Matter, this happened during the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020 and continues to happen, actually, where many people said, especially politicians said, oh, we should just include everybody. All lives matter. But, you know, when you stop saying Black Lives Matter or Latinx lives matter or gay lives matter and just say it devalues what the Black Lives Matter people were saying and continues to do so. All lives matter means that you can go back to the same old system with the same old patriarchy in place. I don't like to talk about it that way, but indeed that's what's going on here. So it doesn't recognize how much harder you have to work when you are Black or trans or gay or Latinx or Asian or neurodiverse or any of the other minorities that we are now expanding enough to include and support. Elena Kupek said it very well when she said, just saying inclusion doesn't recognize the crises that some people are going through. So what can we do? Support your DEI office. If the department has been eliminated, push back. Keep talking about it amongst your colleagues. Maybe even invite some of the former colleagues who used to be in the DEI department to come back and address your team or your department or your employee resource group. The brilliant Dr. Evelyn Carter, in talking about how some universities are eliminating their DEI departments or being forced to eliminate their DEI departments, Dr. Evelyn said, DEI offices exist to promote meaningful interaction. So as I said, getting to know someone who's different from you takes a bit of effort. So if you're the only minority in your team, ask a DEI specialist to help you with languaging for approaching your colleagues. If you're in the majority, you might hesitate to approach your colleagues for fear of saying the wrong thing. Ask a DEI specialist to help you navigate that. That's what they're trained for. Dr. Carter also said, DEI offices exist to identify and address policies and practices that yield inequitable incomes. The danger, as I said before, is when we try to go back to the old norms, which is great if you look like the founding fathers of America, who were heterosexual white Protestant men, as far as we know. And I do notice that the politicians who are talking about eliminating diversity fit that category. But the world is changing. The old system is unsustainable without creating a police state. So what can we do? Recruit allies, be an ally, and push for corporate decisions that improve the lives of everyone, no matter what they look like, where they come from, or who they love. We can all benefit from diversity of thought. If we all bring something different to the table, we can solve problems that in different ways that we could never solve if we had only one way of thinking. As Elena Kupek said, the world's a better place when we can just love and embrace each other for who we are and accept that there's beauty in our differences. And if you're listening to this and you're having some personal issues with this, please reach out and contact me. I can put you in touch with really good people to talk about. This has been Strategic Speaking for Results. I'll see you on the next one.